Hey YouTube, what's up? So, who wants to try to guess where I am today? Yeah, if you said Waco, well then you are right on. we're right back at Waco again. Pretty much, if you work out of, if you work for Millis and you work out of Texas, OTR, and you come home, and the load that you're going to get coming off home time is almost always going to be probably Waco to West Allis. Hauling glass up there to for the brewery, up to our warehouse up there, the Badger warehouse in West Allis, where they stock it up there and then feed it to the brewery when as needed. So home time was short. I mean, dang, it went by so fast. It was over so quick. But then again, the wife had me super busy when I was there. I didn't hardly have time to breathe. We're working on some big projects on the house. We've done a number of big projects on that house over the years since we got together, and everything from I think she had the siding done just before I got there. Then I came and did the roof, the fence, tiled the main floor, the basement remodel project. I had to do the boys' room first, then the main room later. We had to have some foundation work, and then guess what? We're having more foundation work done. So the current project that we're on right now, I've also done master bath. I've done a half bath remodel, kind of, where I was just putting in a new floor there, but the other one was in the boys' room. I had to do the entire bathroom there, plus I had to gut and fix his room, fix a water leak in the floor. Part of that room has to be torn back out again, unfortunately, which is really irritating to me because I really hate redoing stuff. But we have foundation issue on one end of the house that we already saw, where the main part of the basement is, and where the bar and where the bike parking is now. And now the other end of the wall is also having issues. So we probably should have assumed that it was going to affect the entire back wall. Unfortunately, we live on a hill, so we get a lot of hydraulic pressure from the water coming down the hill, pushing up against the side of the house. And it's deflected the foundation, cracked it, and caused some water leaks and other issues. So, and then over this winter, the furnace went out, so we had to put we were planning to put a new furnace anyway, but we had to put a new furnace, new air conditioning system in. We also put in a tankless water heater, an InstaHot system, and then also a whole house water filtration system that we put in at pretty much the same time. So it's been an expensive year, and right now the foundation work that we're doing, we're also replacing the garage floor, which is bad. It has to, that's one problem with the Midwest, all the salt. If you have an unprotected, concrete driveway or, garage floor, it's going to, over the years, going to get eaten up. And of course, this house was built like in the 1980s, so, the concrete in there is just toast. And so we're going to have that hammered out and replaced when they're fixing the foundation. And also we have a patio in the back that's concrete that's got to come up, and we're putting a new one down there. A new patio, fix the foundation, new garage floor, and then we're going to epoxy that floor. And I'm going to put some real nice cabinets in there, like the ones you see in the magazines and stuff, the NV garage that everybody wants, right? Going to have that. So that's what I had on the table for me, was moving all my tools and my pickup truck over to a storage building for getting it out of the way. And it's like an oversized 2-car garage that was just full of tools and random shit, and a pickup that I'm actually in the middle of a project on. So I got almost done with it and had some issues. Had a health issue come up while I was in the middle of that project that led me to this job, actually. So I didn't quite get it done, but it's close. I only have I got to just replace a rocker panel on the driver's side, finish priming it on there, and then it's painted. It's ready to go. It's got a new transmission. It's got a new engine in it. Well, these are pre-built, obviously, but and it's a 2001 Silverado that so everything. The truck's gonna be like brand new when I'm done. And I'm gonna put together. I have a video for this truck project because sometimes project can take nasty turns on you when you don't expect them. I mean, this all started with just, I'm going to fix the body work up that had some rust, typical rust issues with Midwest trucks especially around the wheel wells, around the bed. They always rust out there. So I replaced those, and I was going to do that, and then just put in a rebuilt engine, but it's, you know, one thing leads to another. I mean, you know, you pull the engine, you just make a mistake, and then you have to, you know, put in a rebuilt transmission. So to solve the mistake that I made actually when I was putting the engine back in, it was actually kind of my fault. But as it turned out, the transmission guy said it was probably beneficial that this happened, because I was going to be replacing the transmission very shortly anyway. So, you know, probably saved myself a hassle of doing it twice later. So, you know, there's that. But it's just more money. You know, it's always more money. Everything's so fucking expensive right now, isn't it? I mean, everything costs so much. We were just talking about this the other day. I mean, this is a sign that you're getting old. When you start complaining about shit that everybody else is just kind of used to it, and the guy accepting. I mean, look at the cost of cars right now. Look at the cost of I have a friend who just bought a Silverado. Now, granted, it's a Denali model Silverado, so, you know, it's fully loaded. It's got leather interior. It's got every dang bell and whistle. You know, electric rear window, electric top. You know, sunroof. It's got, you know, high-end Bose radio, whatever that comes in, Telelink radio that comes in. It's got every freaking bell and whistle. The steps that you can move for getting into the bed or getting into the truck, they, you know, they retract and move, and, you know, it's just got every crazy bell and whistle. Now, I asked him what the sticker price on the truck was, and I think he said it was like $63,000. That's like the manufacturer suggested price on that truck. That's crazy. $63,000 for a pickup truck. I mean, this is why my 2001, I'm just rebuilding it, because, you know, $1,700 for a rebuilt engine, $700 for a rebuilt trans, couple $100 for some, you know, body parts. Of course, it helps if you can do the stuff yourself, which obviously I'm doing. So I replaced the engine. I didn't rebuild the engine. I've rebuilt engines before, but this one I didn't actually. It was a crate motor basically, and I just, you know, bolted everything onto it, slapped it in. You know, replace all the O2 sensors and, you know, other various parts so that it, you know, it runs good. It runs great. It runs fantastic. Runs smooth as can be, and the transmission is stout. You can feel it. I mean, when it shifts, it, you know, gets into gear, and it gets into gear pretty hard. And of course I'm doing the body work and paint myself, and then, which, you know, that helps. That's a huge savings there. You couldn't really afford to do a truck like this if you were going to take it to, you know, some shop to have it done. I mean, you might as well just go buy a brand new one at the price it is going to cost you to have all this work done that I did, you know, with all the body work and metal work that I did as far as welding in new wheel arches and inner tubs, inner wheel wells on the rear. Fortunately, the rest of the truck is pretty solid. You know, so it's just a matter of welding in the new rocker on the driver's side. That, for whatever reason, I'm surprised. The passenger one seems to be pretty solid, which is unusual. Usually when one side goes out, they both get ate up, and it's just all the salt and stuff, you know, from the Midwest. It's just crappy. But, you know, I bought this truck for like $2,000 used, knowing that it was going to need a bunch of work when I got it. But, you know, it lasted me as long as I needed it in the beginning, and it to last for the things we were doing with it. And then I think we were working on the fence and the roof at the time, so we needed to haul material and stuff around, you know, from you know, and that. And I brought home a lot of drywall when I was doing the basement and stuff. So, you know, it definitely served its initial purpose, and we're giving it some love because, you know, I'm planning on keeping it around for, you know, just a work truck to have, you know, but I'm trying to make it so that it lasts and it's decent and, you know, doesn't look like a piece of crap when you're going down the road. And if you do rust, if you don't deal with it, it just gets worse and worse until it eats everything away. So it's gonna be almost like a brand new truck when I'm done, and I will only have, you know, I don't know, $5 grand total, something like that, $5-6 grand in it. You can't go buy one for that, not anymore. Not with low mileage engine and trans and all that stuff. I mean, you know, you could buy one for $6 grand that's gonna need work done to it shortly, probably, but I'd rather do it this way. Although I will admit, those nice vehicles are nice, all the features and stuff. You know, the technology, especially, you know, is nice for sure. But it sure is expensive, though. I mean, you know, we're balking at that. So, you know, I think he told me he paid like $53 for it in the end. So he got, you know, a reasonably good deal. But still, it's $53,000 for a freaking pickup. I mean, to me, that's a crap ton of money for a car. You know, to be paying for a car. I like, you know, $7,000-8,000. is what I would rather pay. I don't want to give that full. Never buy one brand new off the lot if you can get away with it. The only advantage, I guess, to buying brand new off the lot is that, yeah, you get that initial manufacturer's warranty, and hopefully you get one that's, you know, they built well and you don't have to do anything to it for a long time. There's one thing we were talking about with the problem with used cars. Like my BMW is older. But it only has 130,000 miles on it because I don't hardly drive it, and it's in pretty good shape. But you know, I guess most people would say it's in excellent shape. It's got just a couple issues with it. Of course, it's got one rust spot that someone nicked a screw when they were putting the rear apron on it, and you know, it's starting to rust around the wheel well. And I wanted to get to it sooner, but I've had all this other stuff and haven't had time to get to it, and so it's getting worse. So it's going to make the problem harder to fix. It's still fixable. It's just going to be a pain in the ass to deal with it. And you know, once you do that, then the problem is, you know, it's to the point the car is a 2004. Yeah, it's 2004 325i with 130,000 miles. The interior looks brand new. It looks immaculate on the inside. The outside looks good except for that rust around the wheel well. But it's, you know, it's to the point where you start having little stupid things go wrong. Oil leaks popping up from here, gasket going bad, you know, or something, or a bushing worn out that needs to be replaced. I mean, I got a list of about $800 worth of parts on the car that really need to be addressed and fixed according to the BMW service, you know, tech, and you know, he's probably right. I mean, looking at most of it, most of it probably does need to be fixed and dealt with at some point, but that's the problem with used cars, though. Is, you know, I'm to the point where when I get in a car and I drive it, I just want to be able to start it up and go, and not have to deal with anything. I don't want to have to fix something before I go somewhere when I go, you know, get in my car to drive it, you know, or whatever. So that's the annoying part about used cars as they get older, especially when they start needing more and more things, you know, dealt with. Little things going wrong with them all the time, you know. And as long as the thing isn't stranding you, it's not so bad. It's just when it starts leaving you stranded, that starts to suck. And that's where, you know, having a new car is much nicer, you know. I mean, it's beyond all the new technology that these cars have now, you know, as far, especially the safety systems in them. I mean, you know, once they deal with the Takata airbag disaster, you know, that happened with the airbags in these cars, when you take away that, which is, you know, those kind of things are going to happen, but if you set that aside, the safety system in these cars compared to old ones, there's just no comparison whatsoever. You're much better protected in a newer car than you would be in, you know, like a 2001. I think that one has a steering wheel airbag and a passenger dash airbag. That's it. There's no side airbags. There's no lane departure warning systems. There's none of the stuff that the new trucks come with that you can get. Of course, like I say, you pay for it. That's a problem. You know, these vehicles are getting so expensive right now. And we're talking about how everything's going to, the manufacturers are all switching to autonomous and electric vehicle production. Like that's where their focus is. All the research, all the money, everything is going into that. That's why Chevy shut down the Cruise plant, and all this is why you know it's coming quicker than people expected, because all the manufacturers are working on it. All major manufacturers, and you know, across the world are working on this. Whether it's, you know, BMW, Mercedes, GM, Ford, Chrysler, Fiat, you know, Toyota, Honda, everybody's working on this stuff. So it's going to come quicker than people expected. But autonomous driving trucks, that's going to take a little longer. You know, I think you're going to have autonomous driving cars well before you're going to have the trucks. So everyone says, well, you're going to do, you know, what are you doing the truck driving thing for now? When, you know, aren't you worried about getting replaced? No, I'm not worried about getting replaced by a computer at this point. It's going to take a while. Trucks are much bigger, much heavier, and much deadlier when things go wrong. You know, at least, you know, one truck could take out, you know, several families of people, you know, or school buses full of kids and stuff, you know. I mean, it could do a lot of damage because, you know, you got 80,000 pounds when it's fully loaded. That could just, you know, wreck some stuff, right? You know, a car, you're talking about, you know, 8, 10,000, depending on, you know, if it's like an SUV, but, you know, hopefully we get away from those when we go to autonomous fleet vehicles, basically, where you don't even own cars anymore. So that's what's coming. You're not going to even own cars. You're just going to pull out your phone and summon a car to you, just like the Teslas that, you know, currently the Model S's. I think the Model 3s might be able to do it too, but the Model S's, the high-end ones, you can actually summon them to you with the phone. You know, and what you're seeing is, of course, they're not perfect, but it's the infancy of the technology, right? And pretty soon you're going to see every car being able to do that. And you know, and it's what it sounds like. What's going to happen is individuals aren't really going to own cars anymore. It's going to be the companies, like the manufacturers, that own them, and they're going to be like big, you know, fleet companies, and that's all they, you know, Ford is going to own all the cars, you know, GM's going to own all the cars that they, you know, they build, and you're just, you know, you'll just get in them, go, it'll take you where you want to go, and then it'll drop you off and leave and go pick somebody else up and take them where they want to go, and that's, you know, what's going to happen with it. So anyway, yeah, again, it doesn't. I don't know how you can make a 6-minute video because if you talk about anything, it's easy to get into 15-20 minutes just by talking about any subject. And of course, I can move through about 6 different, you know, topics, just like I did in this quick little update on home time. So I brought my. This is actually being shot on my regular camera that I used on the very first video that I did, the very first Burleson video. I used this Canon camera. Everything else I've shot with my Samsung Note 9. They both seem to have pretty similar video capability as far as, you know, with the quality of what I get out of them. The reason I wanted to bring the Canon out is so hopefully at some point I can get some other shots, some other angles, maybe some time-lapse stuff of driving, just to intersperse into the videos. I don't want to put a lot of it in there because, you know, I don't know what the value of that is really. What do you need to see? You know, I mean, if you come out here and you do this, you're gonna see the road yourself. I mean, to me, that's not really all that informative. I'd rather try to talk about stuff. I've been thinking about doing a video more about the truck itself, not just like how, you know, I already did the, you know, kind of how I have it equipped, but more technical about the parts of the truck. You know, I'm thinking from my experience, there's a lot of guys that aren't that technically savvy about the trucks, and they're kind of their first experience to it, and they struggle with the pre-trip testing side of things in the school because they don't know a lot about the trucks themselves. Like, you know, myself, I have quite a bit of mechanical experience as far as rebuilding engines and things like that. So to me, I already knew all the parts. It wasn't, you know, really wasn't anything new to me. But I saw other guys that I was in the school with, and I've seen other people that don't really know that much about the mechanical side of things. So maybe I'll do a video that kind of goes over more of the stuff that's under the hood, right? And some things that also could be helpful to know, because if you can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of hassle if you get broke down the side of the road, if there's something minor that you can take care of yourself. Now, some things are going to be way beyond what your capability and what tools you have that you're carrying with you are, for sure. But there are a lot of little things that can go wrong that can leave you stranded on the side of the road that could cost you hours and money and stuff like that, that if you knew how to just deal with it pretty simply and what to look for, you can fix it yourself. It's pretty simple. I mean, you know, there's some simple stuff. So maybe I'll put a video together of that. We'll see. Also, I think we're going to be well, well, I have to get it later. I have to pull it down and pull out. I was going to show you what one of the things we're going to be giving away for the subscriber 100 subscriber push. So we'll do that next time, and we'll catch up with some more on the next video. And look for clues in this one for the giveaway, the scavenger hunt. And I'm going to cut this off right here so that we can keep it kind of from going too long. And we'll catch you next time. Be good to each other. Don't be a dick. Okay. Peace.